you're planning on competing for an SEC championship, you got to take care of your home games. We got the one tonight. We've been making a big point of emphasis on the turnovers. Turnovers were down. Thought we were much better that way tonight. I thought our defense was decent. We were obviously aided by them not shooting the three very well tonight, but I was a little disappointed with our effort once we kind of built the lead up there in the middle of the second half. I think we got to do a better job closing games, playing hard, whether you've got a lead or it's tight or whatever. So I think even Mississippi State, I didn't think we closed that game great either. So we've got to do a better job closing games with a lead. That is a good spot to be in, though, where you got to worry about closing games with a lead. So, I'm happy with the guys' effort. We need to do a better job on the glass. I think they all rebounded us by 10 in the second half. So that's an issue too, which is going to be, a big issue for Kentucky. Kentucky's always a great rebounding team. Their offense is aided tremendously by their offensive rebounding. So we got, and obviously Sheboy's probably the best rebounder in the country. So we're going to have to do a better job rebounding Saturday. But all in all, happy with the guys. Thought the ball moved. We took care of it. The guys made shots. It was a good night overall. We just got to clean up a few things.
You're talking about shooting. Just Brandon Miller just pulling up from the logo is, Barnier, incredible. What did you see in that? And, is it nice to have a guy that can shoot that deep?
Yeah, he had to pull up at the logo. We had no time left on the shot clock. So, but, I like to say he drew up the play to, planning on Brandon making a 45-footer. But, we kind of tried to run something a little different. Instead of we have problems, find Brandon up at the top here. So JB did a good job finding Brandon up at the top, and he made a tough shot. And I think they had cut it to 15 at that point. I think it was 27, and they'd cut it to 15. So I think that was at the under 4 media timeout. We took it from 15 to 18, and I think we got a stop and scored again, if I remember right, to take it to 20. So it was a big shot. We obviously didn't play well from that 8-minute to 4-minute stretch. We gave up lead, and guys weren't guarding very well. Offense was struggling a little bit, so we kind of brought the starters back, and I thought they did a good job there from that under 4 media timeout till we brought them out there with about a minute to go. So they did a good job over that 3 minutes. That shot by Brandon certainly got us started well in that stretch.
You talked about the emphasis on limiting turnovers. What goes into that? How do you kind of prevent those? And then how happy are you to see this the first time, I think, this season that you've had single-digit turnovers?
Yeah, go through the video of how we're turning it over, try to eliminate the careless ones. We're driving into tight gaps, try to eliminate the travels, step out of bounds, the moving screens. We had been turning it over all sorts of different ways. So I thought, for the most part, on some of the turnovers they called tonight were travels. So, we still got to do a better job with that. We didn't have very many live ball turnovers at all. So at least, if we did turn it over, they weren't scoring off turnovers. I guess they got 6 points off our turnovers. But, just individual guys showing them different things, keeping it simple. Like sometimes we're doing a little bit too much, trying to do too much in traffic. Just keep it simple. If your teammate's open, throw them the ball. We don't have to drive it into traffic when got a teammate open. So we don't try to overcomplicate the stuff with the turnovers, but we just need some guys to simplify and make simple plays.
A lot of balance in the scoring. I think 9 of the 10 first half players scored. What's the benefit of being able to spread the wealth around like that scoring wise?
Yeah, obviously Brandon and Mark have been carrying a bulk of the scoring load, for us throughout the games. But I think, when you got Jaden Bradley able to score the ball like he's been getting a free throw line, making free throws, and Clowney's been doing a good job for us. I think JQ's starting to get his swagger back a little bit. He went 3 of 5 from 3, which is great. When those guys are able to contribute like they did tonight, it takes some pressure off Brandon and Mark, which, they're not going to be able to shoot it every night. Like tonight, Brandon was only 2 of 6 from 3, which is a pretty good night for most people, but he had been a little bit better than that. So, and neither one of them shot it great from three. They both shot it under what their season average is, but we're still able to put up 84 points. So I think we can, and there's some other guys. I mean, Dom Welch is going to get it going here. Rylan Griffin hit the 1-3. I think he can be a little bit better for us on offense too. And Charleston had a great offensive game. He missed some layups and lob attempts where we get a little bit more out of him. So I think having different guys step up different nights kind of makes it harder to scout us what you're going to do to take away. You might be able to take away Brandon or Mark. It's probably hard to take both away, but then we've got other guys that can score the ball too.
Hey, Coach, back here. Speaking of that, just from the starting five all the way down the roster, just the confidence in this team you see at this point in the season, where can you see them take some steps in improvement at this moment right now with 2 games in the conference play?
Playing a full 40 minutes. I think we take breaks. We get a lead and relax a little bit. That can cost you. You've seen plenty of basketball games where teams up 20 and lose the game. We can't take our foot off the gas on the defensive end. Then, we've had one game where we kept the turnovers in single digits. We need to try to repeat that time after time. We got to continue to take care of the ball, with the turnovers. And then, our finishing at the rim, I thought some guys missed some shots at the rim that are makeable shots that, they should have finished through some contact, and got to do a little bit better job of that. So those would be the big areas. Obviously there's a bunch of little things game to game, but turnovers we're going to keep stressing until it becomes consistent where we're taking care of the ball.
Yeah, what do you think it is about the mindset or the approach of this group that it avoids, the trap game or just the looking past certain opponents?
You know what? We got a mature group, even though we're playing a lot of freshmen. We've got 4 freshmen in the rotation, strong, starting 3 of them. I think they understand. I mean, some of them are really just playing high-level basketball for the first time. I mean, not to say that the high school level they played at wasn't high level, but it's not the SEC. So, you'd think with guys like that they'd pay more attention to fans and whatever, and maybe look past this game to Kentucky, because obviously Kentucky's a big one Saturday. But I think they've done a good job. The freshmen, I think our upperclassmen, you look at like Noah Gurley's done a great job leading, talking to guys. Quinterly's talked to guys. Dom Welch has been in a lot of big games. I think just having those guys around, some of the freshmen that have been playing well, help understand that this is college basketball. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night. I mean, you see it every week in college basketball where a team that's highly rated loses a game they probably shouldn't have lost. So I think just having some veteran guys around the young guys helps, but the young guys listen, and the young guys are pretty mature themselves. So, and I think it also helps having some competition. Like, we weren't this deep last year. This year, if you're not playing hard, not playing well, we got plenty of options to get in the game and play. Like, where last year we kind of stuck with guys weren't playing hard. We didn't have many options to play. We'd try to play some walk-ons that spark it a little bit. This year we've got 10 guys strong in the rotation that are all playing well. We don't have to play if you're not playing as hard this year.
You kind of just talked about that, Coach, but to have 9, 10, 11 guys who can contribute, whether it's scoring, rebounding, taking charges, or just playing solid defense, what does that mean to have such a deep rotation going into SEC play and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, you can hold guys more accountable. You can get better effort. If one guy just doesn't have it going on a particular night, you've got different options to get in there. And we've got options at every position from point guard to center. So, yeah, everybody's got to bring it with their effort. And then, if somebody gets going particularly hot one night, you can kind of play them a few more minutes. But, foul trouble, we've had games, we've had different guys in foul trouble. Other guys have stepped up where it hasn't hurt us as much. We've had guys out with injuries and been able to withstand that a little bit more with just the depth we have. So, we're going to keep building, keep playing some guys whose minutes are a little lower. I think you look like a guy like Pringle, like Charles was in foul trouble against Mississippi State. We needed him to play those 20 minutes, and, we're going to keep bringing him along, and hopefully these guys playing and getting more time can help us continue to keep developing our depth.
You mentioned JQ a little bit earlier, but where have you seen him specifically improve in any area? Just as he's grown, come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think his leadership. He's talked more. Tonight he had 3 assists, no turnovers. We need him to take care of the ball. I think, obviously, that was big for him tonight because he'd had too many turnovers last game against Mississippi State. Shooting wise, he's been in the gym working on a shot. I think he's gotten comfortable. He struggled shooting the ball last year. I think, he felt a lot more pressure last year. I think with having Brandon, Sears, different guys out there that can help, there's not as much pressure on him. Like, he played pretty loose tonight, but not loose in the sense he was turning it over. I think he just, he pulled up, made shots when they were open, and looked comfortable doing it. So I think he's coming. He's starting to get his confidence back. And when you're out for as long as he was with the ACL, you got to get confidence that your knee's going to hold up. I think he's starting to get that back in his head. And then you got to get confidence in your game again. And it looked like tonight maybe he had that confidence going again. I thought he was pretty aggressive and shot the ball with some confidence tonight.
Coach, you are tied for first in the SEC right now with 3 back-to-back SEC games coming up. How do you plan to dominate moving forward?
Hold on. What do you mean 3 back-to-back SEC games coming up?
Kentucky, Arkansas, and LSU.
Okay, with three against higher level team. They're not all 2-0 though, are they? What Kentucky's 1-1. What? Yeah, and Kentucky won that. So what? They're 1-1. LSU's 1-1. Did Arkansas play tonight? Okay. I mean, they're all really good. Obviously, LSU, I think, was on a 7-game winning streak going in the Kentucky game. So, we're just going to take them one at a time. I think if you look at our schedule last year, we were 2-0 and had some pretty good non-conference wins. Then we lost when we shouldn't have lost to Missouri. Started us on a 3-game losing streak. Like, I think you take them one at a time, do everything we can from when I get home tonight till we play Kentucky at noon on Saturday, prepping for Kentucky. Win or lose that game, you turn your full attention to, I don't even know who we play after Kentucky, turn full attention into whoever we play next and take them one at a time. So, the SEC is a really good league, between Kentucky, LSU, Arkansas, like we have coming up. You still got Tennessee, you still got Auburn. You go down the list. Like there's, I think at one point we had 7 teams in the top 25, maybe 6 in the last poll, if I remember right, 6 or 7. We've got a lot of teams. And Kentucky's not even in the top 25, and they're still Kentucky. They've got a lot of talent on that team. So there's not too many easy nights out in the SEC. So we'll take them one at a time and see what we can get done here.
Hey, just in general, what's it like coaching a player like Brandon? Is that something that you've had to get used to as a coach?
I mean, look, so we've had, since we've been here, Kyra went in the lottery, Primo went in the lottery, Herb was drafted and starts as a rookie and starting now as a second-year player with the Pelicans, and J.D. Davidson's doing really well with the G League team and was drafted. So we've had some pros come out of here. Brandon's a little bit different than those guys. He's 6'9", 2-guard, combo guard almost. I think we've had really good kids that, go down the list of those 4 guys in the NBA that I just listed. They're all really high-character kids. Brandon Fowles in the same suit. He's a great kid with a good personality, works really hard, really cares about his team. It is nice to, have the best player on the floor most nights when you go out, though, as a coach. It makes my job a little bit easier. He can create some offense, make some tough shots when you're struggling a little bit. So, we're going to enjoy him for the 1 year we've got him. He's going to be really good next year in the NBA. He's been really good for us. We're going to get him better. There's things that I think he needs to still do better. He's got to finish at the rim better. He's, got to get better defensively. He's got to rebound a little better on a consistent level. Tonight he didn't have any offensive rebounds. I think he could be better for us on that end, but he's really talented. I mean, he's going to be a lottery pick. He's going to make us all proud here when he leaves here. But while he's here, we're going to try to win a lot of games and have some fun doing it.
There was a moment he committed a turnover or something. You took him out of the game in the second half. What did you tell him on the sideline there?
I don't remember it, to be honest with you. He turned it over and we pulled him out. He might have been coming out anyways. I can't remember. I don't usually. I try not to like get too upset on offensive plays. I mean, as long as they're playing unselfish and aggressive. The turnovers have been a major issue, so that's starting to get me a little more upset than usual. Usually I save my hardest coaching for defensive mistakes, effort mistakes. So I don't remember what I told him. I'd have to go back and look at the play, to be honest with you. I do remember he came out one time. It might have been that. They were going under his ball screens. To me, it makes no sense why anybody would go under Brandon. He's got range out to about 30 feet. I told them they keep going under the first ball screen. Get your big to set the angle right, set it a little lower. If they want to go under your first one, I want you to shoot it every time. Pull up behind, shoot it. I thought some of our turnover issues where we were passing up open shots, in previous games, playing later into the clock for whatever reason and then turning it over. Like, if you're a shooter and you're open, shoot the ball. If you're a shooter like Brandon, they want to go under a ball screen with you, pull up and shoot behind the ball screen. I told them to quit letting them go under. Nobody should go under any ball screens on Brandon. So I do remember telling them that. I don't know if that was that time or not. All right, thanks. Appreciate you guys.